Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, revealed motive for quadruple murder in Clarendon.
While theories continue to circulate as to the motive of the quadruple murder on Sunday in Clarendon, the police have provided an update outlining the route behind this crime. Commissioner of Police Anthony Anderson says these killings were a reprisal.
A week prior, the person involved in that, the shooter in that incident, shot somebody who is related to a person who is influential in the underworld. That person who is influential is incarcerated, reprised that killing.
Anderson says through intelligence, they were made aware of the order and so went to the family yard of the now deceased to arrest the perpetrator in an effort to prevent the reprisal order. However, the police's attempt to locate and arrest the person of interest proved futile.
We were met with some degree of hostility from the family of that perpetrator. We advised them that they are at risk from the information and intelligence that we had gathered. So 1 week later, the two sisters of that individual, the one we are looking for, and two other people who are at the house, were killed in a quadruple murder.
The murder has left one child an orphan and another with one parent less. The commissioner says this highlights the extent families go to protect members who are on the wrong side of the law, in addition to Jamaica's serious gun problem.
No longer can the persons who are harboring gangsters, who are protecting them, do so without putting themselves at great risk.
Illegal guns seized in Spanish Town, 2 in custody. 2 men have been arrested in connection with the seizure of a firearm and several rounds of ammunition during a joint police-military operation in Quarry Hill, Spanish Town in St. Catherine on Wednesday. Reports from the Spanish Town Police were that about 8:40 p.m., cops were conducting an operation in the area when they were alerted to a candlelighting session being held. On their arrival, 2 men were seen acting in a manner that aroused their suspicion. They were accosted and searched along with a motor vehicle that was in the vicinity. During the search, one Astra A79mm pistol with a magazine, a fix containing 5 9mm rounds was found. The men were arrested, however, their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Clarendon parents call for closer vac sites. Parents in some rural communities are hoping that the health authorities will make a greater push in bringing vaccination sites closer to home to ease the challenges they face in getting their children to various locations to take the jabs in anticipation of the return to face-to-face classes. The Education Ministry has said that secondary schools will not return to face-to-face teaching unless they achieve a vaccination rate of at least 65%. Several parents have expressed concern that although the government started offering the Pfizer vaccine to children 12 and older on August 21st, the distance and cost associated with getting to the vaccination sites, especially on the no-movement days, as well as the long waiting time at the centers, have been among their challenges. The same holds true for some adults who say they would take the jab but are not inclined to commute long distance to get it. The situation is compounded by the fact that it is generally difficult to access public transportation in some of these areas, and even more so during the lockdown. Residents of Richmond Park, Stewarton, and Fogo in north-central Clarendon, and Kempshill in the southwestern section of the parish all have the same complaint. A trip with their 3 high school-aged children to the nearest vaccination site at the Denby Primary School proved for 36-year-old Teban Williams of Stewarton District a costly $5,000, she said, because the taxis don't run on the no-movement days. For Michael Spencer, his niece, who attends a Kingston-based high school, but who is staying with her family in Clarendon, is not likely to get the jab unless it is more convenient. The nearest point would be most convenient because right now you go to Denby and it full up, he said, pointing out that it would be an all-day affair waiting to be processed. He suggested that a site be placed at the Darlong Health Center for ease of access. All those who don't want it, when it comes into the community, they will take it, he reasons, adding that he is key on taking the job due to his line of work. Online school has also proven costly, Spencer said, noting that his family spends roughly $12,000 per month to supply his niece with data for internet access. Richmond Park resident Nicole Walker also suggested that the sites need to be closer to home to drive vaccination rates. If they bring it to Cedar, where our health center, that would be easier for us. They have it at Denby, Kelly's and Chapelton, but that is very stressful because we have to charter a taxi to get there. To get to one of these sites would cost $6,000, she said. I am going to take it, that's the job, but when it comes closer. Walker is also anxious for her son to get vaccinated and return to classes as he did not do well with online classes last year. For older residents of other communities like 73-year-old Calvin Lewis or Mas Joe, as he is affectionately called, Imfikich is the riddle he and others of his age group are trying to solve. It a gi out, but you don't know where to go and how to catch it, he reasoned, suggesting that the political representatives should assist residents with transportation to the sites. Is the councillor and him MP, Member of Parliament, supposed to trash out them things they to get the children to the health centre, Mas Joe stated. Porter also caught up with a guidance counselor at the Lennon High School and resident of Stewarton District, Ainsworth Kelly, who also noted that the willingness of parents to get their children vaccinated is being taunted by the distance of the sites. As a rural community, we are faced with challenges as the vaccination bliss are held on no movement days and away from the community. This poses challenge to our parents to get their children out there because not only is the site far, but it's costly to transport the children to this area, Kelly said. He suggested Lennon High School as a central location since it stands at the crossroad from their coming from Stewarton, Richmond Park, Ashley Fogar, Bowens Gate, and many other areas. Only one vaccination drive targeting adults has so far been held at the Mocha Health Center, a stone throw away from Lennon High School. Parish manager for the Clarendon Health Service, Joseph Grant, said. He conceded that the site may be too far for some rural area folks, but said the issue was being addressed. In the lower Clarendon community of Kelly's Hill, the concerns were much same. For the most part, the vaccination sites have been at Denby and Lennon Town. Residents, therefore, expressed joy at the planned staging of a bliss at the Kelly's High School for this weekend. We can walk go is the right place now. It was difficult to go to Lennon. Rovell McLean, groundsman at Kelly's High School, said. The Alley Bridge, severely affected by Tropical Storm Ida recently, the resident found it even more difficult to get to the vaccination sites in Lennon Town, he said. For Grant, staff limitation has impacted the rollout of more sites. I don't think the public is understanding the number of staff that we have to be moving around to ensure that persons are vaccinated. There is a limited number of staff that we have. We try to get more persons, but that is not forthcoming. So it's the same set of staff that has to be going around to the different points, he explained. For example, if we have 70 persons working in a vaccination site, occasionally we have to split that group to send them somewhere else. So all of these logistics come into play when we have to plan the schedule to go right across the parish, he said. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has voiced plans to increase the number of vaccinators, including inviting members of the diaspora to participate in the process. The Ministry of Health has also launched its mobile vaccination drive, an element of its community-based intervention aimed at reaching people where they live, work, and carry out regular activities, and not cauterizing the spread of the virus as the country grapples with the third wave of the infection. The student vaccination drive has, however, hit a snag, with the Health Ministry suspending the administration of the Pfizer vaccine due to shortage of supply. A shipment is expected from the United States in the coming weeks, even as Ministry of Education pushes for an October return to classes. Education Minister Favor Williams said that some 73,880 students have so far received at least one shot of the vaccine. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.